Peace, power, and prosperity. Peace, power, and prosperity. It's your comrade, your brother, Yafeuh Balogun, back at you one more time, having a real conversation about what's going on. Uh, one of these stories that come back to mind was back in 2007. I was in Pleasant Grove. Me and a few other guys was in Pleasant Grove, patrolling the community, doing these armed patrols in the community. We had got an assignment. Luckily, one of the apartment managers, wanted us to be able to come to the area and kind of set up some type of patrols to kind of deter a number of different activities. Sort of thing that was going on at the time was this, street walking, drugs, mainly drugs, was being sold in the community. So, we were tasked with trying to deter this thing from going on in the community. And so we got a chance and opportunity to actually patrol. And when we patrol, it was a good thing. We got a real chance to do what a lot of folks don't really do now, which is engage the community. And I felt it was pretty good that we had a chance to really engage the community at the level where they was at. So this wasn't no thing like some conscious folk. It wasn't no thing like, some religious situation. This was like a real neighborhood situation. And before that, I had been reading Dr. Huey P. Newton, folks like that. Reading a lot of ideological stuff, as I had been taught, some things by a brother by the name of Bandela Tayumba, who I've mentioned before on this platform, Bandela Tayumba. And because of that, I wanted to have a chance and opportunity to put in practice some of the things that I had read about. You know what I mean? So I got a chance to really put together like a program that I felt that was beneficial. I had already been active in organizations like the PLC, the People's Lunch Counter, or whatnot, and the PLC, which had a number of different folks that was, a part of my circle of influence, my sphere of influence. Saida Williams, Melchizedek Gibbs, Eric Calfrey, folks like that were actively involved in this PLC thing that we was doing. And so when we got a chance to go to Pleasant Grove, it was an opportunity for us to engage the community in a more direct level. And because of this direct level, obviously everybody didn't like the things that we were doing, and there was a number of different people. There was a brother named Charles who was doing this thing. There was a man named Scudder, rest in peace. If you from back over in Buckner and John West, back in 2007, you might remember Scudder or whatnot. Rest in peace. But Scudder was kind of like the big dog over there. And what we were told before we got over there, myself and Melchizedek specifically, was that when y'all come over there, that these guys are going to have a problem with y'all. So we made sure at that particular time that obviously we had our weapons, you know what I'm saying? And we began to build a team of individuals that was around us, you know what I mean? Uh, at this particular time, I had really started to kind of get educated a little bit on the original Black Panther Party. I always knew about Huey Newton and those kind of guys, but what I'm talking about is the local folks. And so at that particular time, I wasn't as aware of the local folks, but during that time, I became aware folks like Fahim Minka come to mind because we began to study the history as relates to police brutality in this city, and we saw how important he was, the influence he had of trying to put together a unit that would be able to hold the police accountable, and something that realistically exists in the form of the police oversight here in the city of Dallas that's supposed to hold police accountable, but realistically, it's the community that holds police accountable. And the only time that they hold the police accountable is when we make some noise about it. I don't think there's an institution that particularly holds the police accountable outside of when the community gets upset and makes some noise. It's the only time when some sort of arrest and accountability is made. And if there's enough pressure, then the judicial system will kind of give a little bit of a slap on the wrist to that officer or whatnot. And that's typically what happens. But I think the greatest asset of holding police accountable is from the community. Well, anyway, so we would patrol these communities day and night. Day and night, we would patrol the community day and night, day and night. And one particular time, me and Mel Chester, we had a like a walkie-talkie sort of thing, and I was called Amazu, and so he was called Lone Wolf, and we kind of jokingly call each other that to this day. I'm Amazu, and he Lone Wolf, and I hit Lone Wolf, and he'll say I'm a zoo. So one particular time, he was over there at Timber Park, right across the street on John West, and I was on the other side, on Spring Hollow. He called me and said, I'm a zoo, we got a problem. I'm a zoo, we got a problem. You know what I'm saying? We got the issue, we got the police over here. So I immediately grabbed my shotgun and I ran across the street. Keep in mind, I'm just dressed in shorts and a t-shirt. It's a nighttime. It's 90 degrees outside. It's June 2007. I'm running across the street with my shotgun. Mel Chesdad, he meets me at the gate. He got an AK-47 or like a modern day like version, so to speak. It wasn't exactly AK-47, but you get what I'm trying to say. He had a weapon in his hand, and so we began walking through the apartments. He kind of briefed me what was going on. I see like the lights, the police lights, and all this type of stuff that was going on at this particular time. People all outside looking, you know what I'm saying. And so we at the front of the apartments. The incident that we headed to is the back of the apartments. Before that, we had kind of got a detail that one of our guys got jammed up or whatnot, and the weapon was involved. In fact, it turned out to be a weapon, and I gave him another shotgun. So, me being the foolish person I was that particular time, I was upset about it. I ran towards the situation. Mel Chesedek, rather, he fell back, and he then kind of took a position of, kind of watching and observing. And he was about 75 feet from me. I went directly to the police, and what turned out, it wasn't just one person, it turned out to be two people, where they were more so detained. And because of their legal situation, they really didn't want to escalate, the situation further than what it already been done. And I'm going to say this in their defense. But at that particular time, I wasn't seeing that. I wasn't feeling that. I just know that this police officer had my shotgun. So I attempted to grab the shotgun out of the police officer's hand. Number one, the police officer, he could not, he didn't know how to remove, the round out of the shotgun or whatever. And, I offered by grabbing it from him, attempted to show him, and then we had our little words back and forth. Obviously, no police don't want you grabbing no gun, but we had our little words, and I got so pissed off. I had a leather jacket on. I threw my leather jacket on the ground, and other folks that came up later to observe that was affiliated with us started talking about, oh, don't do that. They used to call me Charlie at the time, and man, I was just real upset about that particular situation. Needless to say, the guys that was detained, they was kind of upset because they felt like I was escalating that situation, like bad to a point where they could have gotten arrested, and maybe there was some truth to that. But I was real upset about the fact that they had my shotgun, number one. Number two, I was real upset about the fact that I had to run across the street and go deal with a situation, and obviously that situation was escalated. Obviously, I really didn't make it any better, but the point was that the police officer didn't know how to remove that round out of the shotgun, and I began at that particular time, I thought I was going to educate the police officer. Needless to say, towards the end of this situation, I ended up getting my shotgun back, but that really kind of exposed the contradiction between us and the police at that particular time in 2007, because the police chief at that time of the Eastern Subdivision in the city of Dallas, Chief Jan Easterly, they began to really observe us because we wasn't necessarily like a a licensed security team per se. We was more or less, in their mind, civilians walking around with shotguns and rifles. Keep in mind, this is 2007. This is way before all this other stuff went on. This is way before all this social media stuff. We had been doing this for some time, and so I just wanted to really discuss that and kind of talk about that particular situation that we really had to deal with. A lot of guys in that Pleasant Grove time frame. If you was in Pleasant Grove in '07, you know there's a lot of things going on. Folks going to the club, folks doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff was jumping at that particular time, and we were patrolling Pleasant Grove. And we tried our best to make sure that we kept an air of safety and caution. You know what I mean? I can honestly say that we had a few fist fights out there between my cousin, myself, with some other guys, of course, but nobody really got killed. And unfortunately, Scudder, the biggest dude at that particular time, he eventually passed away sometime later, probably 2009. But we was over there for a couple of years. But anyway, I just kind of wanted to bring back that story of what I call Hothead, or that's when they started calling me Hothead because they felt like I was a Hothead person. How I went over there and tried to get that weapon from the police, and you know, but I more or less was trying to stand my ground. You know what I mean? And I saw my guys. The guys basically they didn't get they was let go, so they was no longer detained. I got my weapon back, and everybody dispersed. Melchizedek, of course, had his rifle, and that's the image that we see, and the old gorilla mainframe image that we see that's on the uniforms that we used to wear. We used to have the man that was kneeling with the dreads, and as you know, Melchizedek always had dreads, so that's what happened with that particular situation. Again, that was July 2007, which is etched in my mind. I call it Hothead, man. So yeah, if you could do me a big favor, like, share, subscribe to my channel. You know, I'm trying to tell some stories of some times of being out here in this community, in this city, Dallas, Texas, you know what I'm saying? And keep it going, man. Subscribe to my channel. Peace, power, and prosperity.